Hey guys, Yankee here, and today I'm going to be giving my thoughts on Grim Reaper and Four Girlfriends. This is a 3-volume manga series released in print as a single paperback omnibus by Yen Press. I'm not somebody that talks too much about book quality in these videos, but I will say the spine on my copy of this was awfully flimsy, and so I can't show you because I'm not doing a video right now. I'm just recording audio, and then I'll put a picture here, but in the spine of mine, there's just a huge crease right down the middle where I try and be careful with my books. Like, I'm not somebody that gets too hung up on them getting banged up here and there, but when I'm actually reading them, I try and be careful. And, like, there was no helping this. Like, I tried to just sort of read it in a way so the spine would only curve a little bit, but there's just one spot where it just, like, bends entirely. So I just have a hideous crease in the center of this book. So if you're somebody that maybe will want to buy this, just keep that in mind if you care about that. So that is out of the way. Grim Reaper and Four Girlfriends. It's such an odd title, right? There's no the in there. It's Grim Reaper and Four Girlfriends, not Grim Reaper and the Four Girlfriends. But the title basically gives you all the elements of the story here. Our main character, Kaoru Minaguchi, is a loser. He's got no friends. He's not particularly good at anything. Prospects of him getting a girlfriend are absolutely zero. And so he just spends his time alone reading, like, shoujo manga, romance manga, right? And one day, he's visited by a Grim Reaper, and she has decided that he's basically a waste. There's no point in letting him exist because, again, no friends, no prospects, no chance of getting a girlfriend. So she's gonna kill him. And he decides, in his dying breath, to say, like, oh, I was gonna try and get a girlfriend, though, just, like, on a whim. And so she lets him go, but only if he can get a girlfriend. And so, in an act of desperation to survive, he puts a note in 4 girls' lockers, hoping that in doing that, at least one of them will show up, and he'll be able to get a girlfriend and save himself. All 4 show up, all 4 agree to date him, and the Grim Reaper says, like, look, just because you have a girlfriend right now doesn't mean it'll last, so I'll just stick around for a while and see if you can keep this going. And so our story here is basically our main character trying to cheat on all these girls. And that's where a lot of, like, the story comes in, right? Like, trying to meet with some secretly so the others don't find out, trying to convince them not to tell the others, while also, like, he's trying to walk, like, a fine line of getting close to them so they continue to date him until this 3-month period is up and the Grim Reaper leaves and he doesn't have to worry about getting killed. But also trying not to get too close because he's trying not to hurt them. So he's a good guy in a bad situation, doing a bad thing as good as he can. And so that's sort of our plot. The Grim Reaper will occasionally butt in and, like, set him up. Excuse me. And he just has to try and work around that. So he gets 4 girlfriends. Like, the first thing he decides to do is, I'm just going to stop going to school. I'm going to pretend I'm sick. And then if I just stay home for 3 months, then the Grim Reaper will leave. That doesn't work. A couple of the girls come to see him, and that's sort of like our first big problem. And he comes to the realization that he can't just coop up at home. He has to actually be active in this. And we get, like, a few different scenarios where, well, we go through each one of the girls, whose names I do not recall. I'm no good with names, and 3 volumes wasn't really enough to get too close to them. So they end up being kind of generic and not very fleshed out. So, like, let's go through the girls here. We've got a long-haired girl with glasses who's a bit of a secret pervert. We've got the tiny, rich girl who's a bit of a sundeer. We've got the idol, who has to be secret about having a boyfriend, and then we've got the Yandere girl. And that's about as much of their characters as you're going to get. Again, 3-volume manga, they don't really get a lot of time to develop them, so they don't really evolve much past those sort of basic tropes. But each one of them is fun in the little scenarios they do get. But again, like, not really fleshed out much, so I don't remember their names. I just sort of remember their characteristics. Yeah, the main focus is really the main character doing his best to be the best bad boyfriend he can be. And we get a bit of him sort of becoming closer with the Grim Reaper trying to kill him as she poses as his sister to sort of watch over him. So the harem aspects of this are there. You're not going to get a lot of development of the girls. We get sort of, first chapter is here's all of them at once, and then we get like a couple little chapters where each girl gets a moment, and then by then the series is canceled and we just have to rush to an ending where we get like a second plot of another Grim Reaper, and one of the girlfriends has to kiss him before the end of the week or they're gonna die, and he has to figure out which one. So the cancellation really kills this, because I think this could have been a really good series. The premise is different, right? It's different than a lot of harem stuff that I've read, but it just got cut off too early. Like, specifically with the Yandere girl, we get a glimpse of her having known the main character in their childhood. She has memories of that. He does not. Later, towards the end of the series, as they scramble to complete this because it got canceled, the flashback that she had is then given to a different character, and just to sort of resolve that, even if it doesn't make any sense, like, they redraw that scene where, like, this one girl was remembering it, and now it just has a completely different character in it. So everything up until like the last volume of this, so like the first 2 volumes are all good. It's kind of taking its time. It's playing up the premise where we've got the main character sets up a date with a girl and then bumps into all the other ones, and he's sort of scrambling to try and like keep them all from finding out, right? So like all of that stuff is good, and then it just has to rush to an ending, and it's not really satisfying. So overall, I don't know. It's 3 volumes. Check it out if you like harem stuff, because I do think the premise is interesting and different from the usual stuff that I read. But the ending really does kind of suck and makes me wonder what could have been, right? Like, if this had done a little bit better and it got to, 5, 6, 7 volumes, I don't think this is a series that has, the premise can't carry it to, 7 volumes, like 10 volumes, 15 volumes. But I think you give it a couple more volumes to really touch on the girls more, properly get to a resolution, and I think you have a good series here. But as it is, it's just sort of okay. Yeah, those are my thoughts on Grim Reaper and 4 Girlfriends. A fine series. If you like harem stuff, give it a look. It's short. You can pump this out in just like an afternoon. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.